Welcome to Washington Football Week with your host, one half of that dynamic duo, Sean Spencer, and South Carolina's finest, Will Kramer.
Don't play us if you're undefeated.
Where we celebrate past success while looking to a bright future. There's a youth movement in Washington, and they're ready to take the reins, led by a fire. It's a new day, a new dawn, no longer the laughing stock. It's time to take command.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And you know what day it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. And if it's Hump Day, you know that means Washington Football Weekly. So you know I got to be with my guy and South Carolina's finest, Will Kramer. What up, Will?
What's going on, man? How was your Christmas?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was unfortunately, Catherine got COVID, so we stayed put. But you know what? It wasn't bad, man. We were blessed to be able to just kind of be close in that cave, and we didn't kill each other. We're good. We're good. We made it. We've made it.
That's a lot of closeness.
It's getting a little tense today, but we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
Yo, what's going on? And I know you see that face down there, that familiar face, one of the co-creators of Washington Football Weekly, our guy, Mr. Ab Lowe. What up, Ab?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for having me, Sean. Will, I appreciate you guys. Love being on with you guys. So let's get this in, man.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And I can't forget my guy. I can't forget the guy that shared the moment when our quarterback was drafted, Mr. Sam Howell, my guy, Alex Stevens. What up, Alex?
What's going on, brother? How you been, man?
Man, you know how I do, man. You know how I do.
Really appreciate y'all, man. Y'all, I love what y'all do, man. I'm glad to be on here.
We appreciate
Absolutely. But look, hey, ladies and gentlemen, like Will alluded to, Christmas has just passed. New Year's is right around the corner. There's a lot of football that's going on right now. Unfortunately for us, we're ready to look towards next year. Yeah, we've had a rough go at it, especially recently. And I gotta ask this, and I'll just kind of make this a general question. I mean, we all kind of looked at this season beforehand. You know, we kind of knew, maybe we were a little optimistic, but we kind of knew what the pieces we had. Did any of y'all see this at this point in the season?
No.
I can't say.
No. See, like 4-11 you're talking about?
Yeah. Like,
see
this,
like the wheels falling off the bus.
Yeah.
I did.
Well, I would say I think when the season started and how we played Philly.
Yeah.
And how it was in overtime and with the Terry, the refs trying to say Terry foot wasn't in bounds and all that. I think when we lost to them, and then we had, I think it was like three more games? I think it was Atlanta, the Bears, and another team that we thought it was gonna be easy because the way we played against Philly, we was like, man, we could just school through these boys and then we're gonna come right back at Philly. And we had that rematch. But once we lost to the Bears, I think the season went downhill after that.
Yeah.
That's my take on, that's my opinion.
Yeah. What you think, Ab?
Real talk. I think once we got those bum ass guys in free agency and acted like that was going to make a difference, like that was the writing on the wall. Like it surprised me that we started off 2-0, but I'm trying to tell you, Like when we realized that when we got that one guy from the Giants that's coming off like
Gates,
like
Gates,
his whole leg broken like in half kind of joint, and then all of a sudden we're asking him to be our starter, bro. I knew that. I was like, come on, man. I was hot.
Yeah. No, and I get it. Like I think the consensus was, if we didn't see it at that point, Ab, because I completely agree. We were kind of like, this guy is still injury prone. Why are we getting him? But if we didn't see it at that, it's exactly what you were saying, Alex. It was that Bears game for me. That, I mean, going down 10-0 early and then just not being able to muster up anything and letting DJ Moore and Justin Fields have the games of their lives, dropping 40 on us at home. That's kind of when you kind of saw the writing on the wall. And look, there's injuries we could talk about. We could talk about the production or lack of production from a number of the players on the team. But this all goes to one place. If you win, this guy gets the glory. If you lose, he gets all the blame. Sam Howell, my quarterback. And I know the last couple of years, let me say this first, because Ab, you're on here. The last couple of years, I have shouted out the quarterbacks that Washington has acquired. Mr. Fitzpatrick and Carson Wentz. I was wrong. This was different. I watched Sam all throughout college. This is like my son, okay? So, Alex, I'm going to come to you first, man. We got to talk about him this season. You and I are very, very close to this guy. We love him. He is our quarterback. Realistically, how do you think he's done this year? Where has he done well? What has he struggled with? What are your thoughts, man?
Well, I will say I would give him the grade I would give him is a C. And he's definitely been up and he's definitely been down, as he should as a rookie. You know, you might as well say this is a rookie year because last year was really his rookie year, but he only played one game. You know, so this was really his full year playing all, 17 games, right? Mm-hmm. You might as well say that he's played a full season or whatever, but you're definitely going to see the bumps and bruises. I mean, this was not going to be an easy road for him. You know what I'm saying? I love Sam Howell. You know, I'm a big fan of Sam Howell. I just think there a lot of things weren't built around him, especially with the offensive line, you know, and, you know, we can go through wide receivers. I think the weapons was there for him, but a lot of wide receivers, them boys was dropping balls, man. You know, he didn't really have Terry had a down year this year. Terry really didn't have the best year that he should have this year. You know, Sam Howell doesn't really have an elite player, especially on the offensive line, you know, and then the defense really doesn't help out at all, you know, and then not to mention, let's go talk about Eric Bieniemy. You know, this is his first year. You know, this is a rookie quarterback with his first offensive coordinator that he has to work with. So, you know, it definitely wasn't going to be, you know, sunshine and roses, but it was definitely going to have bumps and bruises, most definitely. But I ain't know it was going to get this bad. And I think Sam, I think he's lost. I mean, you tell me what quarterback that gets hit 60 times is going to be successful. You know, these last couple of games, and Will, I was, you know, remember I'm on your side with this. He's lost. I mean, he literally is. Wide receivers are wide open, and he's scared to throw it. Yeah. You know, he's scared to throw because he's scared that he's going to get hit. I mean, when he says hut, he already hears footsteps, you know, and he's scared to throw it because he's afraid that he's going to get a pick, you know. And, I mean, it's tough for the young man. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about Sam, but it's been a tough road. Definitely been a tough road.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And look, we can't let's not I'm coming to you. Let's not act like, you know, he, like you said, he has not had the weapons, but he also hasn't had the production. You talk about the drops. We only have really one running back, and it's Brian Robinson, who's gotten over 600 yards. The next closest running back after Sam Howell is Chris Rodriguez on our team. You know what I mean? So we don't have that consistent running game to take some of the pressure off Sam. Then you add on drops, you add on the 60 sacks. You know, Sam, all that being said, over 3,600 yards, you know, 19 touchdowns. But I can't overlook those 17 interceptions, man.
I mean, so to me, I've talked to you about this before, Sean, like we have to look at the play calling too. We can't just not look at it and Just to touch on what you were saying, Alex, is that it's hard to produce, like for Terry, it's hard to produce if Sam's not throwing him the ball. Like, I mean, he doesn't really seem comfortable, or they're not on time with each other, you know. And when he does force it to him, then he throws some picks. So I really can't, I can't blame him in that aspect. I think I'd call it more the play calling. That would be my issue. I think the play calling is not for Sam. This isn't like EB's not really developing him properly, in my opinion, and it's an issue. It really is, and I understand bumps and bruises and everything like that, but EB, like, for a rookie, like, you know, we like, it's his second year, but essentially he's a rookie. You need to run the ball a lot more, more. And then that eases up the defense. That brings them into the box more. And it's like a chess game. And EB just off the bat is just throwing the ball. Like, there's no offense, like, for real, there's no reason a guy that's wet behind the ears like Sam Howell is should be throwing the ball as much as he does. Right. Okay. And that is a very big issue. So I know we're all expecting a lot from him, but we have to add in these other aspects to the game too. Like, he's throwing a lot more than he should. I understand the interceptions, but that's going to happen, especially someone that's wet behind the ears like he is, and we're always playing from behind. Like, like it's crazy, guys. Like, and like to me, it's just. And my last point. Washington is the worst place to develop a quarterback. Yes. So, like, let's just put it out there. It's the worst place to develop a quarterback.
So, and with that being said, Will, and I know where you stand. I have always known. It's all good. You know, you're good though. But at the same time, with all that being said, we've known about the O-line. We've known about the coaching issues, or maybe some of the setbacks, the lack of a running game, the drops, all these things. And I know you hate this, but, you know, still top 10 quarterback. That stat's still up there. He's still putting up those yards. A lot of that has to do with the fact that he's throwing over 550 passes. Right. You know what I mean? So that's kind of part of the course. But still, all of these sacks, 60 sacks, and still each week getting hit, still durable, still working it out, still with everything that's been going on, he's still been a tough SOB. Like, he's still somebody I'm proud to say is my quarterback. So talk to me about this, man. Like, what do you think about this season? But can he build on it? Do we need to expound on the issues? Like, what do you think, man?
Yeah, he absolutely can build on it. I mean, this was his first chance to see what the life is going to be like in the NFL. And you know, I stayed kind of medium to start the season, but I got excited. You know, those first couple of weeks, those Philly games, I said, you know, I was looking at this going back-to-back games against Philly, against good defense. Like, this kid can play. And then we kind of came back a little bit further down to life. And then all of a sudden here, these last couple of weeks, like the wheels have just fallen off. And Alex, you touched on it when talking about that confidence. It's shot out there. He looks lost out there. But he absolutely has impressed me with his toughness. He's really impressed me with his off-script play. He's extremely exciting, whether he's making throws off-script, whether he's making runs. I mean, he needs to learn how to slide, but it shows that he's that type of quarterback that players are going to want to play for, because he's going to give it all. I mean, he's going to run into defensive players to try and get 2, 3, 4 more yards. And he's shown it. He's got arm strength. He's got talent. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of harnessing all together. And Ab, I really like what you said, where it's like some of this play calling I don't think has been to his advantage. Where has been stuff as a rookie quarterback to make him feel comfortable at the beginning of the game? Why are we going into 5 and 7 step drops, waiting on receivers to go? If we got to go 8 yards, why are they running 15-yard routes?
Right.
You know, where are the slants to let your playmakers catch it and run and do something? You know, what could we do to kind of give him that confidence each game? And I didn't see that this year, but you know, ultimately he's impressed me more. I know he's kind of really fallen off here lately, but he's shown me more than I actually anticipated than coming into the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And look, at the end of the day, obviously we know I am a little bit biased. You know, I want to see him do well, but I'm also more critical of him. And that's why I give him a C-. And the reason being is because I know how good he can be. I know the bar that he set from being in college. And it's not just about the natural ability, but it's also the ability to overcome a lot of these situations. Right. And I hate to even say this, but it almost felt like, especially these last couple of weeks, this season broke him. You know what I mean? Because one of the things that I praised him for early in the season was how tough he is. He keeps getting up no matter what. We talk about that Philly game, you know, getting down all these points and then coming back right to the end of the game. The Seattle game, driving us down the field to potentially get it, and then they ended up kicking the field goal. So he's tough and he keeps getting it. But after a while, you keep getting hit. Eventually, you're not going to be able. It's just something's got to give. So unfortunately, this is where we're going, and I think this leads exactly to what Will. I'm gonna come to you. What he said, what came out today. Rivera said that at least for this week, he's benching Sam. What does this mean for? Obviously, we know what it means for at least this week and potentially this season. But what does it mean for him going forward as a starter?
Yeah, I hate this move. I don't understand in week 16 why you need to bench him now. And Ron has talked all season long about what is the point of this season was developing Sam, finding out what we had in Sam, almost to a sense of like Ron admitted this was a throwaway year. We're either going to sink or swim with this guy. Because if he really wanted to be the Ron teams of old, he could have played Jacoby all season long. We probably would have won 7, 8, 9 games. And then where we're at every season, you know, but instead he said, I'm going to develop this young guy, see what this young guy can be to find out if we got something here. So why in week 16 are you now saying, oh, well, we need to go to the other guy? Now, the only thing I can think of is I think the coaching staff is getting frustrated with what they're seeing out there. You know, he's played much tougher defenses, playing against Dallas, playing against Miami, going against the Jets defense. And this week is going to be San Francisco. And we've seen the turn to where the offense is just not doing anything. And he's not taking what's there at times. You know, there's been a lot of showing of replays where, and I think the coaching staff has gotten frustrated with him about take what's there, you know, don't hold the ball, looking for playing hero ball, something longer, even to the point where against the Jets at times, we've talked a little about him being rattled. They had some pockets and he threw the ball away or he ran out of it. You know, he hasn't been getting sacked in the last couple of weeks, but his pocket presence hasn't improved. And I think they're just kind of seeing like he may have hit a spot to where he's just not getting it done. And that's why they're deciding to do this. But I don't like this for a couple things. I want us to lose the next 2 games. Regardless of whether Sam is the starter in 2024 or not, I want us picking in the top 3 of every round in the next draft. I don't want Jacoby, who's come in here and scored like 8 touchdowns in 3 quarters, to be leading us against
just the ball. Will
that's what I'm saying. Like I don't want that. We don't need to win these next 2 games and move further and further in the draft. So that's where I'm like, Ron, you're already getting fired. You're sealed. Your status is sealed. So just you don't need to be winning games. You know what I mean? So that's the part where I'm like, I just don't understand what this is. But then also for 2024, I think you just played our hand. If you're benching a young quarterback, you're showing that he's not your starter next year. So now you just showed the entire league, whoever's picking in front of us, they all know, well, Washington's picking a quarterback, so we better get up there to go get the guy we want. So if I'm the owners and I'm Eugene Shen, who's here to run our draft strategy right now, I'm pissed. I'm like, wait a second, why did you just show our entire offseason strategy?
Oh yeah, talk about blowing the whole draft strategy and exposing yourselves. Like that's stupid. And going back to one of the things you said, Will, Alex, I'm coming to you. I mean, we talk about confidence. How are you expected to show this guy that you believe in him and that he is your potential future. If you're going to take him out, if you're going to say, you know what, you got 2 more games that you could have, played the last ones, but you know what, we're gonna bring you out of the game. You know what I mean? Like, what does that do for this guy's confidence?
Yeah. I agree with you, Sean, and Will. Like you said, his confidence is lost, and I'm gonna say that Ron ruined Sam. He ruined him, and Eric Bieniemy ruined him too. Eric Bieniemy is a part of that, and Ron is a big part of that because Ron created this team. I mean, let's be honest. He never drafted again, you can find guys, a dime a dozen guys in the 7th or the 6th or whatever, but Ron never did that in the first. He never did get an offensive lineman in the first. I mean, look at all our first round picks that we got. Chase Young, he's gone. Josh Dotson, he's still unproven, been dropping balls. He was supposed to have a breakout year. Jamin Davis was supposed to be a middle linebacker, but can't play Mike. And Emmanuel Forbes, I think the dude's talented. He had a little up and down season, but people say he's too small. He can't tackle. Yeah, we should have got Gonzalez, the other dude from the Patriots, and then we should have got the dude from the Giants. I mean, what is Ron doing? I think with Dotson and who is it, Jamin Davis and Emmanuel Forbes, one of them I think will be elite. But out of those 4 guys with Chase and Dotson and Jamin Davis, and one of these guys should be elite. Nobody is elite. These are first round picks. I mean, you would hope that somebody would be elite. I mean, this is Ron for you, but I would say they ruined Sam. And going back to your take, Will, why is Ron benching him? My think of it is at the end of the day, this is a business. You know what I'm saying? And it's a job. Ron is telling the other teams, hey, he still wants a job. He knows he's going to get fired. So at the end of the day, he's going to try to, bench Sam. Jacoby might win these last 2, possibly. I mean, obviously the offense looks a lot better, and he's gonna try to save his job. There's no question about it. I mean, if it's a job at the end of the day. So he's gonna tell all these other teams, hey, I'm still a coach if you need me. So I mean, that's what I believe. But yeah, Sam, and it also, like you said, Will, it also shows that he's not the guy for the future. Sam isn't. We ruined this guy. And there's a lot of other, he's got that mental bug. And it's hard for quarterbacks. And Sean, we talked about this a couple of days ago. It's hard to get the mental bug off you. If you look at Carson Wentz for a good example, right? Or RG3. Yes, these guys got injured, but I mean, you look at Wentz, right? When we got Wentz, we was hoping that he would be the Eagles guy, the MVP. But when Wentz hears boos from the fans, and I mean, he's lost in the sauce. I mean, if you look at him, he's scared. If you watched Sam at the beginning, 5 games in, even in that Phillies game, when he got hit or he threw a pick, man, he was poised. I mean, he was.
Yeah, Justin helmet kept going.
Yeah, he didn't get bothered. He didn't get rattled. Nothing. Now he's lost it all. And some quarterbacks, it's hard for them to get out that mental bug. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, Ron benched him, I think, to keep his job, but they ruined the young man, and I feel bad for him. I really do. He don't deserve us. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, you know how I feel. Ab, I'm coming to you, man. This, for me, also the timing of this is weird. It almost brings me back to this time last year when Ron comes and has his press conference, and he's like, "Oh man, yeah, I didn't know how good." Sam Howell was. I didn't know what we had in house. And now it's like, this is like, well, I think I'm going to sit him in. Everybody knows you're on your way out, Ron. So what power play are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? The timing of this is just off for me, Ab. What do you think about this, man?
I'm with Alex on this one, man. Like, this is kind of crazy, man. Like, right now, this, like, it makes no sense for him to make this move. Why go to Brissett? And the only reason that I can think of is that these guys are playing for their year next year. Mm-hmm. Like EB's even doing it himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like, they're like, look, we all not to have a job next year. So I mean, it might not be here, but we need to play. We need to do something to show that we can actually do, like, be competent and like get another job somewhere else. Like, if we're being frank, I don't think none of the staff keeps their job. like for real. Like, and it's unless the new coach, new GM is like, hey, I like what you've done. You on a trial basis, kind of.
Right.
But no, I don't think anybody keeps their job for real, and that's essentially what they're doing right now. And it sucks because everybody around the league, all the fans are literally looking at this like you're about to mess up our draft spot, and like that's all I could think about when they're like, go to Brissett. I'm like, you're effing with my draft spot, man. I don't need that. I don't need that. I need that top 3 pick. Honestly, y'all keep doing what you're doing. It's already too late.
Right.
The fans accepted it. Yeah. And honestly, I understand in a business standpoint because nobody wants to come to the field and watch some losing. But the real fans, we all understand that we're playing for our draft spot right now. So I understand the Harris wants to be like, we need more fans in here. We need to get some more money, but nah, the draft spot is what's important right now.
Right.
And this almost seems like a move like what Lovie Smith did. What was it last year? Where he had an opportunity to lose, and then the draft spot would have been a certain way, and then he ended up going for 2 or something like that, just to spite the organization because he already knew he was on his way out. And we all know Ron is on his way out. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. His tenure is done. We pay respects to the man for what he has done as far as beating cancer and kind of trying to right the ship amid all the Dan Snyder stuff. But at the end of the day, this is a business where you need to produce. And if you don't, then that means not for long, which is what the NFL stands for. So, Will, I'm going to come to you because we know we're moving on. We know we're heading in another direction. Who are some of the head coach candidates that intrigue you and why?
Yeah. So I think I want to go offense. And for 2 things. One of the things is if you draft a quarterback and you have an offensive head coach, you're going to keep the same system in place. Whereas if we went, some of the defensive coaches that are out there as candidates are a little bit more established. You're Brian Flores. You're talking about the dude from the Ravens, McDonald. But if they have success, that offensive coordinator is likely going to leave to go someplace and be someone else's head coach. And now you're having to find another offensive coordinator. And every 2 years, that cycle could be continuing. Whereas if you have an offensive coach, that system is in place. If you draft a quarterback, which if we're picking in the top 5, we have a great opportunity to. So that young quarterback has a chance to stay in the same system regardless of who his actual play caller is. So I'm leaning towards going offensive. And right now, Ben Johnson from Detroit is the hot name.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So he's the hot name. I really I'm really intrigued by Bobby Slowick out of Houston with what he's doing with CJ Stroud. I'm hearing he's a little bit green. He may not be quite there. There's 2 other guys that one is young, one is older that I'm kind of interested in on offense. One is Wes Phillips in Minnesota. He's the son of Wade Phillips. He was actually a former Redskins coach. He was one of our tight end coaches, and he's working with Kevin O'Connell, who is a very, very bright mind. So I like where he's been. He's been under Sean McVay. He's been under Kevin O'Connell. So I like that tree. But then there's an older guy who would not really excite people, but I think he actually may be better than what we think about. Jim Caldwell out of San Francisco. He had some success in Detroit. He's been under San Francisco. He's been learning from Kyle Shanahan's way. He already was a good offensive mind. Remember, this is the guy who was with Indianapolis Colts as well and had success, where he may bring in just, I don't want to say father figure, but like kind of I'm hearing that with the owners, they may not want to go super, super young. They may want to have someone who has done this before. And so if you're going to have someone who's done this before, Caldwell's been a head coach. He can be that steadying presence, understanding that it's not just X's and O's, working with the guys. So he may be someone that I'd be intrigued by. Defensively, I'm worried about his lawsuit with the league, but I'm really impressed with what Brian Flores has done in Minnesota.
Mm.
About halfway through this season, he turned around that defense in Minnesota, and I feel like we've got some players on defense, plus with our capital in place to kind of fix that maybe quicker. But again, I think I'm trending towards going offense, and so yeah, I've named some three young guys, and then Caldwell would be my like established veteran coach.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I like that. I like that. I see what you're doing with that one. Yo, so all right. I think Ab's out. Ab, what are your thoughts, man? What direction do you think you would go in and look for the head coach?
Okay, so to me, head coach Sean, I actually thought we were going to go GM first. So my GM, to me, the focus would be getting the GM first and then going head coach. So I think we did it all wrong when we hired Ron and then got the GM next. I think that's ass backwards. So that means Ron is essentially the boss of the GM, and that's not even right to me.
That's right.
You know, I don't even like how that sounds. So because you like that means the GM can't be objective and be like, yo, Ron, you got these two whack ass players last year on offensive line, and you really think you're about to be on some business on offense this year, and things are going to be different now?
Right.
Like, nah, it's not even right. And so to me, head coach, head coach, I'm going young. I think young is the way to go. I think this is the new NFL. To me, I really, really I don't want to see anybody old. I really it's a new league, and we need to be evolving. And to me, I think we've always been stuck in something old, and it's just it's not, and it's just not working. It really isn't. Right. Everybody that we get is 50s, 60s, 70s, and it's not so. Head coach, I'm going Ben Johnson, Detroit. And honestly, I understand what you were saying, Will, about the league thing, the lawsuit, but I really do like Brian Flores, man. I think he got a raw deal in Miami. To me, I find it, I hate it when, and I'm not trying to play the race card here, but with Jim Caldwell too, he got fired after a winning season. What is that? What is that? In Detroit, you know what I'm saying? you had a winning season and you get fired that. It makes no damn sense because you missed the playoffs. He missed the playoffs that year, right? Yeah. So I think so. Yeah, and that doesn't make sense. And that doesn't make sense to me. Jim Caldwell, I liked him as a coach. He's almost like a player's coach. From what I remember, and they loved him there. Right. But Brian Flores, honestly, if he can get around that, I really think that he's going to be He's going to be Colin Kaepernick. I really do. It really is. So, but honestly, I like to see him here. I said this before. I said this last year, guys, but Kellen Moore is a genius, and I love what he did in Dallas. I think we talked about it. I said I'd rather have him than EB. I want to say, but Kellen Moore is definitely up there. Definitely up there. But no, if I had to pick, it would be probably Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson. Sure. Oh yeah. That seems to be a consensus. Most people seem to be going in that direction for not only the intelligence but also the age, young, up and coming. Alex, what do you think?
Well, I think our next head coach should be Eric Bieniemy. No, I'm just I'm just like how these guys said it, man. I want to go young. Ben Johnson. I made a podcast about that, about the coaches we should get. But yeah, absolutely. I think Ben Johnson was my favorite. But starting with GM, do y'all remember when we had our scout guy when Jay Gruden was here, Kyle Smith?
Yes.
I would love to have Kyle Smith as the GM. Right. He's young, he's talented. One of my friends that I'm talking to here on a daily or whatever on the phone, man, I'm a big Washington fan also. He's a big fan of Kyle Smith too, and he was telling me about that. And I was like, yeah, I forgot all about him, man. But yeah, I mean, he was a scout, a scout guru. You know what I mean? He knew what he was doing, and Ron just threw him out the building. You know what I'm saying? But I would love for him to be the GM, but I really don't know too much about the GM situation. But when it comes to coaches, definitely go young. I would definitely want an offensive coach. It's not about defense no more. I hate to say it. I'm a defensive guy myself. Defense wins championships, but it's not about the defensive coach anymore that much no more, man. I mean, if you look at DNs, they can't even hit quarterbacks like that no more without being a flag. It's an offense. It's all about the offense, all about protecting your quarterback. And I mean, it's all about, I hate to say this, because I mean, back then it used to be all about, loyalty and just trust and winning rings and all that stuff. But it ain't about that no more. It's about money, and people want to see money. You know what I'm saying? People want to see the offense move it down the field. People want to see touchdowns more than defensive sacks and stuff. So, but yeah, Ben Johnson is definitely my number one. He's young. He's definitely talented. I mean, where the Lions have been for the last few years were terrible. Ben Johnson comes in there and just makes them one of the best offenses in the game. You know what I'm saying? There's rumors talking about trading for Mike Tomlin. I don't know about that one. I don't get me wrong. I would take anything over Ron right now. So if it was Mike Tomlin, I would be happy. A lot of players love Mike Tomlin. There was even rumors saying that we might even get Bill Belichick. I would take Bill Belichick over Ron. I would. He's a scheme guy. I mean, obviously, I do think that Tom Brady made Bill Belichick, but we do have so much in free agent, cap space for free agency. Right. Bill Belichick, man, y'all remember a few years back when he grabbed everybody wanted to play the Patriot way. You know what I'm saying? So, but these guys, you would have to trade for them. But going back to Eric Bieniemy, I did want Eric Bieniemy at the beginning to be our head coach. I still think Eric Bieniemy can lead a team to be somewhat good. There is the Bears talking about they might get him. I mean, he is that hard-nosed coach, and a lot of players respect him. Y'all remember when a lot of our players went to Ron and was like, "Hey, man, I don't like how Eric Bieniemy is, teaching." Man, it's like, dog, y'all make millions. Shut your mouth up, and you know what I'm saying. Y'all can't. Y'all mad getting yelled at? Like, come on, man. I don't know. I don't know what Ron created in that building, but it's a lot of soft shit going on. I'm sorry, excuse my language. There's a lot of soft stuff going on. My bad. I didn't mean to cuss, but y'all know what I mean.
No, you said it. Like, I was about to say it too. I was like, soft in the ass for real.
Yeah, bro. Like,
I am so like blown away how man, he yelling at us.
Right.
What?
Yeah, man.
He's running long practices, 2-hour practices.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. And I'm just like, man, I don't know what's going on in that building. But like I was telling some other people that, if you go to a job and your boss is laid back, usually all the employees are going to be laid back. You know what I'm saying? But if your boss is, on your butt, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be, ready to do whatever. You know what I'm saying? I want players to go to war with, man. And these players, man, they ain't going to war with Ron. I'm not saying they don't respect him. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a respectable, great, good coach, likable guy and all. But the players just lost him, man. He ain't the same no more. But yeah, absolutely. Ben Johnson, I would love to go his route.
The best thing so we had consensus on who was our top pick, which there's also a lot of stuff coming out right now that says, Alex, you just said it, where Washington is now a premier destination. There's no Dan Snyder. You're going to be able to bring in a new general manager. You've got cap room. You've got draft picks, where if you look back at our coaches these last 15 years, maybe even 20 years, we plucked Joe Gibbs out of retirement from NASCAR. We had to promote Jim Zorn because they wanted to hire Jim Fossil and fans revolted. So they hired the offensive coordinator. We plucked Mike Shanahan out of retirement. Jay Gruden was not everyone's first choice, but we needed a coach. And then Ron Rivera, you just said it, Ab, we had to give him all the power in order to get him to come here. For the first time ever since Spurrier, Dan Snyder, our team has a chance to pick our coach, not take somebody, but really decide. Like we are the location that the youngest or the brightest coaches are now looking at saying, "Hey, Washington looks like an ideal local spot." General managers, are saying, I could go there and do well. Like we have the chance to be what Philly is right now, what Baltimore is, what San Francisco, these shining organizations. Finally, after, and it started with Dan leaving, it's like, I mean, that's really exciting about this offseason is it's not no more who can we get to take this job. It's who wants this job.
Well, going. My bad. I know you about to talk, Sean, but I was about to say. What Will was saying. Dan is that's the difference between Josh Harris and Dan. Josh Harris is a businessman. You know what I'm saying? He knows who to grab, what to do, what GM. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's an owner for Philly and a hockey team. Dan was a fan of Washington. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? He wasn't really all that. You know what I'm saying? He had to help. Hey, I need help to do this and do that. You know what I'm saying? So all this stuff that we have, I'm kind of excited. Just like y'all, I'm kind of excited this year. All this stuff that we have is Dan's stuff with Ron and all this. It's all this garbage that is about to go. You know what I'm saying? And I feel bad for Sam, but literally Sam might not be here, y'all. You know what I'm saying? A lot of players are not going to be here. You know what I'm saying? And Ron and all of it, everything is going to be washed away and we starting over. I didn't think we were this deep into a rebuild, but we are. We're really in a rebuild. This ownership, that's a lot of people were upset about Josh Harris. Why y'all not getting rid of Ron? This and that, because he's waiting to see how it all goes, and he knows he's going to throw it all away and put all. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really excited.
Yep. Well, and that answers that. I mean, that you just segued perfectly into the next question. Does anybody stay? Do we retain any of the coaches? No, you're good. That's perfect though, because I mean, I think kind of the consensus is that it is everybody's job is on the line. Everybody's on the way out. But let's be honest. What do we do with EB? Like EB hasn't done enough, in my opinion, to where other teams are clamoring to get this guy. I don't think he's any different as far as where teams radars as he was before he came in, because just as well as he might have done for us, we've all mentioned how he kind of held us back. So that would be the number one name to come to my mind that we potentially keep. But realistically, is there anybody that we're saying, you know what, let's keep this guy. Let's keep these guys to help with continually work with Sam, or even just to help at all? Now I'm gonna throw it to anybody because we've all kind of said.
I don't think so. I think they've seen enough. I think it's all, again, these coaches, they're putting in Jacoby Brissett to save their jobs for, that's what I believe. I do think Eric Bieniemy found a head coach. Somebody is going to grab him. I'm pretty sure they like how he is, his intensity and, the type of guy. I mean, a lot of respected. He's really respected from Kansas City. Mainly, he ain't gonna be really respected too much over here. They're probably gonna see what he did with Sam, with how many yards he has gotten. Coaches or GMs will definitely see that. But I think it's all gone. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't think no coaches, the GM, who's our guy, Martin Mayhew, I think is it. What is it? Yeah, he's gone. Everything. It's gonna be a whole clean house, man. That's what I believe.
Yeah, what you think, man? You think we keep any of the current coaches on the
I'm sorry, you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, bro. No, I honestly, if we do keep any, it would be EB, because I mean he's only been here a hot second. Right. To me, I think EB has some. I think the way he calls games needs some improvement. Like I really do. Like it's. There's no way you should be like throwing damn near 90% of the time. And I understand that's a lot of our offense. I understand we don't move the ball unless we do. I do. I I do, but especially if we get another rookie up in here, like a actual rookie next year to come in here and play, and you're throwing every time, you're not doing that guy any service. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Confidence, and he's going to be losing, and he's going to be like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's going to be playing soft. They're going to be playing off the ball. Like that's not a way to play football. Like it really isn't. And to me, it's just like if they knew that that's what he was going to do coming here, they probably wouldn't have hired him. You know, it was exciting. We loved it. Like I loved it too. You know what I mean? Like you know what I'm saying? I was very excited about it, but you just don't. This is not the way to call football games, especially for a young quarterback.
Yeah, no, absolutely will. And I mean, to Ab's point, EB isn't part of the Rivera regime. You know, he wasn't brought in years ago with Rivera. He was brought in just this last year. He only has this 1 year. It would almost benefit him to stay and maybe continue to work with somebody and continue to bolster his resume. So, I mean, what are your thoughts? Is he on the way out, or does he need to continue to put tape? I mean, not tape out there, but, you know.
What if the answer is he does need to put tape out there? What if we talked about why is this move being made? EB puts Jacoby in for the next 2 games. The offense hums, and he can say, wasn't my fault. 4-13 wasn't my fault.
Right.
I was working with a guy who just couldn't process quick enough. He couldn't see the field. Look what happened when I had a veteran quarterback, whether that's in Washington or elsewhere.
Right.
You know, there is a chance that Jacoby playing well is basically an indictment of Sam and of the coaches saying, listen, we allowed this to happen, but look what we actually could do. So I say all that, and obviously Ab said it right. If anybody's going to be retained, it probably would be Bieniemy if we were to have a defensive coach come in here.
Right.
But it's still like I don't want to see that happen. Ab, you're saying right. The play calling that he's done has just not made sense to me. At first, in the beginning of the season, I liked how much we were passing it. It's like that is the new NFL. If it's 3rd and 2, I'm good with throwing the ball. I'm not good with throwing the ball 10 yards downfield. That's not what I'm looking for, but passing, I'm not against that. But look back to, I didn't think we were going to have the train wreck of the season we did, because we were able to win 7-8 games with a guy like Taylor Heineke running our offense. I figured and Sam Howell's a better quarterback than Taylor Heineke. He's a much more competent passer. So I'm like, well, if we just mimic what we did last year, we got to be winning 7, 8, 9 games. Right. And we threw that whole script out. And, we were a running team. And Ron just turned this entire offense over to Eric Bieniemy and just said, you do it. Whatever you do, whatever you call is your thing. Whereas last year, he came in and said, we're not running the ball enough. We need to run the ball enough. Run the ball more. Remember Martin Mayhew in January say our identity at offense is to run the ball, and run the ball. And then we run the ball, and then we again. And we didn't do that this entire season, and that would have benefited Sam quite a lot, a young quarterback. But, I look at EB and say, well, this is your offense. Your offense can't run the ball. Your offensive line is not good. That everyone knows that. But last year's offensive line wasn't good either, but they ran the ball. They were effective with the ball. They played ball control. You were reckless out there. The play calls are just not making sense unless we needed a veteran who can process quicker. And that's what EB's offense is he needs a quicker processing quarterback who can see things faster. So maybe in these next 2 games, this will kind of be like EB's redemption. I'm not seeing it happen. I'm not rooting for that, but I'm just kind of throwing that out there.
Right.
Yeah. And that's definitely a possibility. I mean, and I've told you this multiple times, Alex. I think I've told you this. There are times when it feels like EB is calling plays as if Patrick Mahomes he's still in Kansas City and he still has Patrick Mahomes and that offense.
Right.
Where it's kind of like you're doing things that you kind of already know that you're comfortable with the quarterback already knowing the checks and everything. And you talk about Brissett being in here at an older, quarterback that's been around the league and he can pick up potentially more on these offenses, a little quicker than Sam. So I agree. I think EB does need to prove that he can still do it. Prove that he's not the issue, because I don't think, and I've been talking to other people about this, is that I don't think, everybody before the season was saying, EB, well, they didn't want him as a coach, but they're asking why he wasn't getting picked up as a coach. And then with us, they were immediately like, oh, well, he's already your guy. He's already the next guy. He's your guy. And I'm like, you guys aren't even seeing that he's still struggling over here. A lot of what we're doing, like you were saying, Ab, is on him. When we have a 3rd and 1 and a 4th and 1, and both plays we line up in the shotgun, the first play we run a fade route, and the second play we run a counter. You know what I mean? These long developing plays, something is not right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially what do we all say? This bum ass offensive line. Like,
right. But that's my point. What did we all say? Kansas City was the #1 screen team in the league after he left. That's what we thought we were getting. These quick little screens, these little bubble things, all these things that we're gonna have high efficient passes and opportunities for Sam to succeed. It hasn't worked. We'll see what the new coach and the new GM and all that stuff they do with EB. I don't think he's done enough to kind of be like, look at me and go elsewhere. But we'll definitely see. But look, we go ahead.
My bad. I wanted to say something about that, Sean. I do think EB saw something in Sam. The reason why he kept throwing, and at the beginning it was working. Like, I really do. I think EB really saw, I'm not going to say he was Pat Mahomes, but he saw the talent in this young man. And throughout the season, him getting hit and all this stuff, he lost it. He still he wants to get that back. Like, hey, I'm pretty sure he's right there with Sam. Is like, hey, do you not see this guy? You know what I'm saying? You would hit this guy back in week 3, week 4, but you're not doing it now. What's going on? He wants Sam to be that guy that he saw back in that Philly game, back in that Atlanta game, back. You know what I'm saying? So the Patriot game also. So he wants to see that, but it's not there no more. He's lost his confidence, and I feel bad for the man. I really do. But I really do feel like EB sees a big potential in the guy, and it's just, he just lost it, But go ahead. My bad, Sean.
Let me add something to this. When I see EB call the game, like, to me, I think there's a natural flow in calling plays. Like, it's a natural flow. Like, there's almost like, if you understand the flow of the game, sometimes you're even like, okay, I know the next play that's going to be called. And I think he's almost trying to outsmart the defense by calling something totally out of whack that is not expected. But sometimes you just need to run the ball on 3rd and 1. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just right. Like, he literally is like doing these, and I even accused Ron of this. Always trying, like, you always act like you're smarter than everybody else. Like, it's not like, you don't need to do that. Like, Ron, like, I feel, especially in free agency, Ron he always signs these players. And everyone's like, what the hell did you just, like, what are you doing? Even in the draft, what are you doing? But it's like he knows something that we all don't know. No, Ron, you are some dumb shit. And this is not right. And EB does the same thing. And play calling. It's just, he's trying to outsmart the defense by doing something totally that's out of the flow of the game, and it just comes off idiotic. It comes off very, very idiotic.
No, absolutely. So with that being said, we will see what the new GM and head coach end up doing. We'll see if any of the coaches are retained, and we'll definitely be keeping an eye on Eric Bieniemy. We did want to move on. Speaking of the GM, the draft is right around the corner. We're looking at 2024 already because obviously we're out of the season, and from everything we've been talking about, the way that the team is heading is towards the off season. So we want to look at the draft. I'm going to bring up, because we all want to kind of hit that first round. and just take a look. Just get a kind of a look at how things might be. We're gonna do a quick mock one, just for the first round, and we're gonna, as we get to that pick, we're all gonna kind of look at it and see what direction we all would go to.
Okay.
We're at number 3 right now, aren't we?
We're at 3. Yep. We're at the 3rd pick right now.
Yeah.
Chicago ahead of us, and the Cardinals. Right now, it says our needs are quarterback, tight end, O-line, edge rush, linebacker, and corner. So almost everything.
Yep.
All right. Let's go ahead and start. Caleb Williams goes 1. Marvin Harrison Jr. goes 2. We are on the clock at 3. As you see, we got Drake May. So what I'll do is, Ab, I know how excited you are. Let me take this part off here. Ab, I'm gonna let you go first. What direction do you think? What direction would you go in this?
So to me, as new ownership, new GM, new head coach, you have to see the possibilities of trading back. You have to look at that and at least weigh that option in it. Because if we're building something new, we're building something like we want to create something, we have to at least see what we can get for, especially for a guy like Drake May. So that trade, Sean, what trade possible, like, is it say we have any trade possibilities there?
Yep, we have
to move back.
The first one, the Giants for the 5th pick. Let me see.
So, guys, to move back 2 slots, just going off of what I've noticed in the past drafts, we could easily pick up a first and essentially, and depending on how desperate the team is, another first. So that's something that would need to be weighed in. Like, I understand it's a new and like I said, new GM, new head coach. We want our future and everything like that. And that means in the quarterback, we want to start off new, but we would have to weigh in how much do we want, like, you know what I'm saying, just to go 2 spots back and to pick up an additional 2 first-round picks. That would be hard to give up, guys. So, but right here, I would go Drake May. Just like honestly, like I would love to move back, but I would draft Drake May.
I can dig it. Will, what you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, this is ideal for us right here. We have a chance to get a franchise quarterback. This is why you lose the games. The guy that I'm rooting for right now, I've got my eye on the most, is Jaden Daniels.
Yeah,
and so that's who I would take right here. Slide.
I think if you pick him early, it would be a travesty. I think he could trade back and get him, you know. I think there's so much buzz on Caleb Williams and Drake May. Like, these guys don't even have to go and do the combine.
They don't.
They're like number 1, number 2, and it could go either way between the two.
I think by the time we get to the draft, though, Jaden Daniels will have gone through his combine, and he's going to shoot up the way Trey Lance is. So, like, yeah, looking at it today, you're right. You know, he's looking at the 20th. That's a huge reach when it comes to value. But I think by the time our draft comes, I think he's going to be a top five pick.
Yeah. And then also with trading back, we might still be able to trade back within the first round and get an extra pick, so we can still get him and bolster what we pick up. Alex, what would you do in this situation?
All right. Well, if I was the GM, the smart move I would want, but I don't think it's going to happen. I will tell you what I want, and I will tell you.
Next question is what's going to happen.
Oh, okay. All right. So this question is who do I want?
Who do you want? You get to make the call.
Well, Yeah, well, if I make the call, I want an offensive line, and I want if I'm GM, I want to get a coach that's gonna help Sam.
Yeah.
I think Sam is the guy. I love Sam, man. I mean, I think people have forgotten what he did at the beginning, man. I mean, this dude, he was a superstar. I mean, he was young. I mean, he's young. He's going to have his bumps and bruises, man. But I think next year he will do better. This is what I want, but I don't think next question will be, but I don't think the coach, the GM will do this. But what I want is I want an offensive line. I want the best offensive line on the board. I want to protect Sam or trade back. Okay, now, all right, ready for this? If I was GM, we're throwing all this away, but I would build around Sam, okay, and I would trade Jonathan Allen. Jonathan Allen has been talking about not wanting to be there. I would trade him for a late first if we can get it. Okay, I'm pretty sure there are teams out there. I mean, he's a leader. He's a one hell of a player. And people know when the team plays good, and he gonna ball. So I would get a late first, and if you can't get a late first, I would get an early second. But that's what I would do. I would get an offensive line, and then a tight end or a wide receiver or something like that, to help Sam. Obviously, defense. I mean, obviously, if you can get more picks with Jonathan Allen, I would do it. But absolutely, that's what I would do. I would build around Sam Howell. Yes.
Okay. I can dig it.
How about you, Sean?
Now, first and foremost, I just want to say I did not pay Alex to say that. I did not coerce him to say that. He said that on his own free will. All right. Honestly, and if I'm looking just from this perspective, I'm taking Ab's advice. And if we have this where we're the third pick, and then we get offered to get 2 picks behind, I want to take it. I want to take it because as we've seen in the last couple of years, as a matter of fact, Sam Howell was the benefit of the pick of the trade with New Orleans, where we got extra picks, so he was able to pick him up. So what I would do is I'd move back to 5th. I'd make that trade, and I agree. I'm sticking with Sam myself. I want to keep him. I love the thought of Drake May, but I in this world of not being loyal to anybody, I think we need to start to send a message that this is our guy, this is who we're loyal to. And I'm trading back to the 5th pick, and I'm praying he's still here. Notre Dame tackle Joe Alt. In my opinion, he's the best lineman in the draft.
Is that the dude from Notre Dame?
Yeah. That's the dude from Notre Dame.
Yeah. I like him too.
Yeah, you pick him up. You start with your big
Absolutely.
Tackle, and you go from there.
Right.
So that way we get extra picks, and we still get with our line, and I get to keep my quarterback. So I'm good with that. You
had a chance to go into training camp, North Carolina versus North Carolina, and you chose left tackle. Wow.
I can't do it. I can't do it. If you thought it was hard for me dealing with this year,
you could have 2 jerseys, Sean. Whoever wins the battle, you just put the next guy's jersey.
Can you imagine? I'd be like a parent. I'd be like, I can't hate you and love you. I can't do I can't do it. I can't do it.
Hey, Ab, was you gonna say something? Because I wanted to say something, but I know you was raising your hand up. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah,
because I wanted to say something too.
There was 2. So honest, when I spoke and say I was going to take Drake, then I was speaking as GM. So I was being like smart. I was trying to be what I think they would do. Honestly, I think top 5 pick, you can't just throw that away, and especially if there's a chance on your quarterback. Like if your quarterback is like and you're about your quarterback, and you have a top 5 pick. And especially we already effed that up with Chase Young. Y'all have honestly, I don't think we could do that again. Yeah. So to me, to me as a GM, you have especially with the fact that you have a top 5 pick, you really do have to pick a quarterback. And especially the way Sam is ending the year, you really do. But if it was me, if I was the GM, I would seriously consider the fact of those, especially the Giants moving up, because that's what the Giants are moving up for. They're moving up to get Drake, and so that to me, I would. it wouldn't even be legal what you would call what I would do with like getting these draft picks from them. It wouldn't even be considered legal. Like, can they do that? Can they ask for that much? Yes. I would seriously try and go after all their picks. So yeah.
I can dig it. Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, I wanted to go back to the Jonathan Allen. The reason why I said that, I think the GMs will bring Jonathan Allen in and tell him, like, listen, we're in a rebuild. You know, you got 1 more year, 2 more years left on your contract. You know, if you want to stay, I mean, you're 29 years old. You know, this comes with age and his contract also. And the man, he wants to win. And it might take us 2 to 3 to 4 years to get where we want to be. So that's the reason why I said trade Jonathan Allen. He doesn't want to be here. He wants to win. So as me as a GM, listen, I'm gonna trade you to a good team. You know what I'm saying? And get that and we already at top 5 pick and get a late first if we can get it. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why I said Jonathan Allen. I love Jonathan Allen. Yeah. I loved him. I think he's a great player, a great leader, but I think his time in Washington might be gone because, you know, it's a whole rebuild and we might get a pick for him. So
no, you made Ab's day right there when you said I trade Jonathan Allen for a first round pick. He went somebody else thinks like me. Yeah.
So can we talk cap right now then?
Oh boy.
With what?
Yeah. Okay. So Jonathan, so I'm looking at the cap out because that was on my list is to trade Jonathan Allen. Like literally to like we are right now according to Spot Rack, we are 89 million for 24 or 2024. We have 89 million in cap space.
Yeah.
And honestly, letting go of Jonathan Allen would add about 9 million to
Hey, not don't forget about Leno also. That's about 12 mil. So we don't have about 100 and some mil, guys. And we get rid of that man.
You're gone.
No,
hey, Logan also.
I'm all about clearing house, like especially these guys that aren't really doing enough now. So like I'm looking at it now. So right now we could let go Jonathan Allen. That would be 9.5 million.
Right.
Leno, let go of him. That's another 7 million. 7.5 million.
Logan Thomas.
Wiley. And that's another less than $1 million. But the whole point is it would be in the green. We won't be losing money there. Logan Thomas, that's another 7 million.
Yeah.
Like you get what I'm saying? Like we can clear house and have so much more and look for better guys.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Like we probably won't get anything in the trade for four of those guys, which is fine. But Jonathan Allen, we sure shit can definitely trade and get something for him.
Absolutely.
And to me, I like you said it right, Alex, is that he's getting older and you can see the frustration and it's understandable. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To me, you trade him to Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? Kansas City will definitely give up a second-round pick for him, especially with Chris Jones on his way out. And he's cheaper than Chris Jones, younger than Chris Jones. Boom. We already got it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Now, we real quick, we told what we would like them to do. Now let's go with what we think they were going to do. Alex, I'll come to you first. What do we think the GM would do in this situation? Obviously, we do not know who the coach, who the GM is. We don't know the direction. But what do we think based on our kind of guesstimation and how things have gone? What do you think they're going to go with this pick?
Right. I'm gonna believe what Will said. How you say his name? Jalen Daniels. There was something that I saw. I don't know if y'all saw this. You know, y'all let me know if y'all saw this. There was an article saying that we want to build around what the Ravens did.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then I did saw that was a few days ago. Then I did saw an article that we kind of like how you say his name, Williams, the dude from Caleb Williams. So and I saw that. So I think we're going quarterback. Again, we got to talk about contracts. Sam Howell has 2 more years left on his contract. I think this new GM, this new coaching, they're not going to do that. They want a cheap guy, because you got to think 2 years come up, they got to pay Sam. Okay. Mm-hmm. So they're not going to do that. I don't think so. Now that's what I want, but I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to get their franchise guy. And they're going to get the best one off the board. We look at it now. It's the Bears. I ain't going to lie to you. I think the Bears are going to stick with Justin Fields. I don't think they're going to get Caleb Williams. Justin Fields is starting to play better. I don't think they will. The Cardinals, I mean, that's tough. They do got Kyler Murray.
I can see Harrison going first and Caleb going second.
Right, but
I see Kyler. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, Kyler Murray. I don't know that's a big cap hit that they got to deal with because they signed him to a big contract. So I don't know if they would do that. If they were smart, they would build around Kyle Murray because I don't think he's really the issue. I think he's still talented. But yeah, I think I'm going Jalen Daniels. Because I think they want that type of talent there, or Caleb Williams, the best quarterback. And I do like Drake May. Sean, we talked about Drake May. I even asked you, do I think is Drake May even better than Sam Howell? He is taller. A lot of these GMs and coaches, they love tall quarterbacks, and Jalen Daniels, right, is 6'4". Same thing with Drake May. They're 6'4". Now, this guy Caleb Williams, he's about 6 foot 6'1". But the dude is talented. I mean, if you watch his throws, it is incredible. But I think his mouth is gonna really mess him up. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, he was talking about, hey, whatever team picks me, I want half of the ownership. Like, what the heck? I don't know what's going on with that dude. He tripping, man. But
does he have billions of dollars to fork over? Does he understand how much our franchise is worth right now?
Bruh, like, that's what I'm saying. I don't know about that dude, but like I said, if he can clean up off the off the field issues, that's who I would that's what I think they're gonna do. I think they are gonna trade Jonathan Allen. I do believe that, and I think that and they're gonna get their guy. 4 years, a cheap contract. They're gonna get their quarterback, and I really do believe it's either gonna be Jalen Daniels or Caleb Williams. I would say Drake May, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I really don't know, but that's what I believe. That's what's going on.
I can dig it. Ab, what you think?
I said it before, bro. We can literally drop off an additional, like $20 million between those four players. One, two, three, four players that I just named. You know what I'm saying? So that money won't be an issue. I think Sam Howell. I think you can still pick up a franchise quarterback in the first five and still keep Sam Howell. Like, a lot of people think if we pick up a quarterback in the top five, then we need to trade Sam Howell. Wrong. Sam Howell could definitely be the backup if need be, or Sam Howell can start until the quarterback is ready to start, So, I mean, that could easily happen. So, to me, we do draft a quarterback, and especially top five. Like I said it before, you're top five and you're this with your quarterback.
Yes.
There's no way you're not picking up. You're no, and we already messed up about less than 5 years ago in that regard, and not picking up a quarterback in the top five.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, we're not like, we're dumb, but we're not that dumb. You know what I'm saying? You have to pick up your franchise quarterback now.
Right.
I can dig it. Will, what you think?
Yeah, Ab, you're right on the same type of thought process I had. By the time we played the Giants and didn't beat them, especially the second time, I had moved on from saying Sam could be a good quarterback in this league, but if you're picking top five, you have a chance to get a franchise quarterback, and that's where I moved on from Sam. I want to say this part. I think Sam's going to have a 10-year NFL career and be extremely successful. I look at him as someone sort of like a Geno Smith, a Baker Mayfield, a Jacoby Brissett. You could bounce around from team to team, start 2, 3, 4 games, keep a team in the playoff hunt, do things really well. Like, he's going to have a really good career. He's shown that. He's also, in my opinion, just shown that he's not today the guy that I need to build around a franchise. And so that's why I think it's important that they do go get that guy in the top top 5 pick. If we're picking third, we go get him. And the way the league's going, that's the reason why I'm going someone like Daniels over May is just the scrambling ability.
Yep.
I mean, look at what Jalen Hurts is doing. The ability to add yards in that capacity is such a huge weapon. If for some reason they don't go, I would say left tackle over wide receiver. I know Marvin Harrison, is seeming like he's going to be a Hall of Famer. His dad lit the league on fire from the very first, game he played in. But I feel like if you're going to build around Sam, if you're going to build around you need to get that left tackle to protect him. And I feel like between Terry and Jahan, we need to have a new offensive mind come here and figure out how do I maximize the talent of these two guys who did it last year. Yep. What happened this year? So that was my thing. But yeah, it's all about if you've got a whole new regime in place, let them pick their quarterback and go with it.
Mm-hmm. Hey, so I want to say something. Can I say something real quick? My bad. Yeah. My bad. I know. I keep talking because I Ab and Will had real good points, man. But and I'm not down on y'all for saying this, but I think Sam is gone, and the only reason why I say that is because if we do get a rookie quarterback, right? Let's say he does start messing up, right? Everybody knows, right? The fans in that fan base is going to be like, Sam Howell. It's only going to lose the rookie's confidence if Sam Howell's the backup for us. I think Sam Howell's gone. I think this new GM, they're going to get rid of him. They're going to give him to a team where he can, where he'll be sitting behind a vet. I do believe that. I hate to say it. I don't want that, but I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think they're going to keep Sam all because of that. And I do believe we are going quarterback. And the reason why is I know y'all remember that 2012 season with RG3. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's be honest. This is a money league. It's all about that. It's all about that bread. Mm-hmm. This GM, this new coaching, they're going to bring their guy so they can bring money. And Will, I agree with you. I think this day and age is all about mobile quarterbacks. I think they're going to go Jalen Daniels. You know what I'm saying? They're going to get the right coach for him, and it's all about this. You know what I'm saying? So absolutely. Now with I was trying to go back to that Sam Howell. I don't think he's going to be the backup because if the rookie starts messing up, everybody know, and I am going to be like that too. If the rookie start messing up, put Sam Howell in.
Nah, but that's also the reason why you keep him. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I get that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, especially with your RG3 reference, that's exactly why you keep him. You know what I'm saying? And he's cheap because if you go get a back one, we already know Sam Howell can play. We know he can play. He just may not be our starter. And that's the only thing. That's the only caveat about him. But legit, you want someone. When you get a backup, you want someone that can come in and be flawless, like be able to pick up and not lose the game. And we know Sam can do that. You know what I'm saying? And so that's and again, that's why you don't trade him. You don't get rid of him. Right. And what he's like $500,000.
Oh yeah, I know.
Jacoby's getting like 12.
I'm sorry.
Jacoby's getting like 12 to be the backup.
Right. A good backup is going to cost stacks. You know.
Well, that's the thing. We got that cap, and that's the reason why I feel like they will do that. They're gonna get. To me, now I'm not arguing your point because I like your point, but to me, what I think is they won't do that. And they will they will pay a guy that much to be a backup because if the rookie struggles, they know if the backup quarterback comes in, he's not the franchise guy. You feel what I'm saying?
You don't think Sam showed that though this year? If you're drafting someone, that's kind of saying that Sam showed it, that his ceiling is backup. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that Taylor Heineke effect. Like, yeah, he energized the team, but he really wasn't a franchise quarterback.
Right. So you say?
I'm sorry.
My bad. No, I was trying to. My bad. I was trying to see what you saying. Will, you don't think Sam is a franchise? You don't think he is?
No. So I think to your point, I don't think he's going to threaten a rookie quarterback out there.
Oh, okay.
Because we know what he is. We know what the fans would know what his ceiling is. Yeah, he can come in and play better for a couple games, but ultimately he's not moving you forward either.
Right. I mean, that's a great point. So I agree with both. You know what I'm saying? I agree.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm gonna bring out my inner Lee.
Oh yeah,
Corso.
Sean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, Sean.
I'm bringing out my inner Lee Corso and saying not so fast. 2 reasons. I don't think they're getting Drake May. I don't think they're getting their quarterback. I think they're cleaning house and they're building from the foundation, and I think the foundation is the O-line, in my opinion. Now, you guys know how I feel about O-linemen, but at the same time, at the same time, one thing we do know is you can have all the skill players in the world, but if you don't have any time to get the playoff, you don't have any time to do these. We have had an issue with line. I think the one thing that they've seen from this year, 60 sacks, everybody saying we're going to break the record for most sacks, X, Y, and Z, they want to protect. So regardless of what we do, they got to protect in. If we could trade back potentially and still get a top lineman and get some more picks, that would help. And the other reason is I don't think Drake's going to be here at this point. These 2 picks above us, we don't know what people are going to try to do. Obviously, we saw what happened with the Panthers last year and that whole big trade with the Bears and the Cardinals. Like to your point, Alex, Kyler, I don't think they're done with Kyler. I think he's gotten this bad rap and everything, and I think they're going to keep with him. So I think they're going to be looking potentially to move back because they don't need a quarterback. So I think there's going to be somebody else that's going to potentially jump up to get a quarterback. Right. And I think this line is going to start. Yeah. This new ownership is going to start from their own line. I think they're going to start to secure those necessary pieces. So, and then to your point, Sam is getting paid $500,000. You have this guy that we know if you give him a little bit of time, we know this guy can produce. We know he can succeed. And we also know that if it doesn't work, I do think we've seen this year in the NFL, you're nothing if you don't have a quality backup quarterback. You need a backup to come in and to save your franchise. We look at the Vikings. We look at, not Denver, but we look at a number of the teams that have got the Raiders. You get these backup quarterbacks in here who are able to kind of save the season. So, in my opinion, I say we stay put at quarterback. I think they're going to go with that O-line, but I do think some transactions are going to be made. I think to Ab's point, I think a GM would be foolish not to start sitting there and looking at that pick and just waving it in front of people like, I got this pick. What you want? What are you going to give me? What are you going to give me? Because just as bad as we perceive ourselves to be, there's a lot of teams out there that are far worse off than us that will try to jump up or more desperate for what we have, that Drake May potential, that Caleb Williams, that Jaden Daniels. They, I think, are going to try to get ahead of us. And I think we have a very big opportunity to really kind of really turn this one pick into a lot of picks. So that's,
Real quick. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I misspoke. Not 500,000. He is just over $1 million against the cap. The point is he's cheap as hell. You get what I mean? That's why, especially that'd be the reason to keep him. You have to think. You guys know me. I'm always going to talk cap, and cap is like it is a reason to keep players sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And Alex, I'm going to come to you. And if you actually look, and I've been staring at college football for the last several years. So if you actually look at this next crop of quarterbacks coming out, Will and I talked about it just the other day. Caleb Williams has not declared. He hasn't officially come out. We know, the Bo Nix, the Michael Penix, all these other guys, but there is potentially a J.J. McCarthy who's playing in the Final Four. We don't know if he's going to stay back. There's a number of quarterbacks that can potentially be coming out next year to where if we start to say build our line and we have this cheap guy in-house, then maybe it gives us an opportunity to buy a year to where we're building up and then looking towards the future.
Yeah.
But Alex, what were you saying?
Yeah, that was a great take that you said. I was liking what Will said about Jalen Daniels, but Sean, when you was talking about offensive line, I think we will. I like what you're saying right there. I think we should, because I don't think that you have to be a superstar quarterback to. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you could be mediocre quarterback and have a good offensive line. I like that, but I think that they're not going to go that route. And the only reason why is because today's NFL, like if you go back then in the 1990s, 1980s, right, the 1970s, bro, you get a good offensive line and you have a mediocre, trash quarterback, you probably gonna make it to the playoffs. Nowadays, in today's NFL, you know, I mean, look at Dak Prescott, right? Look at their offensive line. They had one of the best offensive lines in football for years, right? And Dak Prescott, we can all agree as Washington fans, he's mediocre. He ain't all that. He's a good stat man, but he can't never bring him to the promised land. And he has the best offensive line. So the reason why, and going back to Will, you know, with Jalen Daniels, and I agree with you, they're going to get an athletic guy to, I mean, look at the guys. I mean, it's you don't have to have a great offensive line because they're going to run around. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say that, but that's just the new era nowadays. You know what I'm saying? I mean, now don't get me wrong. I know Matthew Stafford. What about Matthew Stafford? I think Matthew Stafford, there's not a whole lot of quarterbacks that are Matthew Stafford. There's not a whole lot of quarterbacks that are Tom Brady's. These guys come once in a blue moon. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, look at Herbert. Herbert's very talented, but he has no offensive line. He can't run as fast. Right. You feel what I'm saying? So Sean, I love what you said, dog. I'm all about offensive line, but I just don't think in today's era they're gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just everybody's mobile now. I mean, Pat Mahomes is the best one that can do it, and every GM is trying to find another Pat Mahomes because he's mobile. He can throw it behind his leg, off his leg. I mean, he could probably hit it off his chest and put it in someone else's hand. I mean, it's crazy what the man does. I mean, he's incredible. So every GM is looking for that guy, and he's mobile. He can move fast. You know what I'm saying? So, but I like your take. I do want offensive line, but I don't think they're gonna do it.
Can I say this? And I'm sorry, real quick. I think no matter what, we all just want someone that's going to hit, like, and produce from the jump, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's, to me, that's one of my issues is that we pick these guys and their projects. How are you a first round pick and they're a project? Like, to me, it's like, I need you to hit and be a damn near Pro Bowler out the gate. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need you to contribute right now, not now, immediately, right now, immediately. So
absolutely,
to me, I that's all. Like, to me, we'll be mad if it's not the pick that we decide. Like, we all of us are like, this is the pick to go, blah blah blah. But we're gonna be even more mad if it's like a project or if we
Jamin Davis.
You know, Jamin Davis type, right?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Good old Jamin Davis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that hurt right there. Jamin Davis hurt, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do think we're gonna get his 5th-year option though. I think Jamin Davis, we will. I do. You don't think so? I think.
Are you gonna pay him $15 million to be on your team?
Oh, I didn't know it was 15 million.
You have to go to the top 5 contracts is what you have to pay him. You can't.
Right. I just think this. I think Jack Del Rio used him wrong. You know, I'm not saying that the man is a DN. I just think that you have to put him on the field to be successful. And I think there's one thing that he's very terrible at, and is coverage. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Very terrible at it. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But he is good at tackling, and he is good at getting to the blocks, hitting the blocks, and getting to the running back sideline to sideline. But I mean, like you said it, I mean, it's covering. You know, they might use him for, you know, a first down, you know, on a team. But when it comes to 3rd and long or something, they'll probably put him on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know.
Dime a dozen linebacker.
Right. I agree. I agree with you.
That can do that. You're right.
Absolutely. I agree.
Athletic, but if that's what his ceiling is,
absolutely.
He's no better than Cole Holcomb. We let Cole Holcomb leave, you know?
Yeah, I miss Cole Holcomb.
Yeah, I said that, Sean.
Another target.
All right, fellas, I gotta get going because I've got morning duty with the baby, so I do need to get rolling.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen,
fun.
Yeah, we definitely got to wrap this up, man. We want to send a special thank you to our guy, Mr. Ab Lowe, helping us out today. My dude, appreciate you, partner.
I appreciate you guys, man. It was fun. Thanks, Will. Thanks, Sean.
Could have gone 4 hours.
Thanks. Yep. Thanks, bro, for meeting you, bro. It was nice meeting you, man.
Nice meeting you, bro. Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah, definitely. And my guy, Alex, man. Appreciate you, buddy.
Yes, sir, man. I love what y'all do, man. I really appreciate all y'all, man. It's definitely good meeting you, Ev. And I mean, y'all just keep doing what y'all doing, man.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Hey, and for my guy, Will Kramer, it's your boy, Sean Spencer. This is Washington Football Weekly. We will be with you guys next time. Hey, And as always, you know how we end the show.
Gibbs, you got a good chance. Let me tell you something about some good fans. Back in the day, RFK was our palace. If you don't know, you need to ask about us.